somebody. Alrighty. So I need you to put your feet flat on the floor. Now typically you can do it in sitting on the plinth, or you can do it sitting in a chair. I'm doing it on the chair more for the fact the chair's available. Alrighty, but if she's sitting on the plinth, alrighty, what you want to make sure she feels stabilized enough. Alrighty, usually people feel stabilized sometimes if they need to cross their legs a little bit. That's fine. Okay, across their legs, I mean cross their ankles, not making a number 4 thing. Okay. Alrighty, so what you want to do, alrighty, we're going to measure shoulder horizontal AB and adduction. Alrighty, there's many different ways of doing this, by the way. Actually, 2 different ways of doing it. Some people, depending on the book that you read, say shoulder horizontal abduction starts at 90 degrees of shoulder flexion. Okay, alright, bend the elbow. And abduction, which way would I tell her to go? Bring her elbow where? The shoulder. Shoulder. All right, that's the elbow that's moving. Bring the elbow back. Okay, bring the elbow back. All right. Now, some books say that you have to start at 90 degrees of shoulder abduction instead of flexion. That's our book. All right. All right. So, depending on which book or which therapist you may be working for in the future, the numbers may be variable, because you can obviously see at this point, if we started her in shoulder abduction, right, the number will be quite less, okay, as compared if she started in this position. So sort of be aware of that when you're measuring it, okay? So since our book says this position, all right, we are going to start in this position, okay? So what I need her to do, can you just scoot a drop forward, okay? All right, what is one thing that she's definitely going to want to do when I tell her to bring your elbow back now?
Move the trunk.
Want to lean back? Okay, keep your trunk straight, stay away, because when most people lean back, they tend to hyperextend. All right, other things that they're going to want to do, bring it up. They tend to do this, do a nice lovely trunk rotation. Don't let her do that. So what you want to do is keep everything in line. Now, alrighty, so when you're measuring it, your fulcrum is going to be in line with the superior part of your AC chromium process. The proximal line says it should be in line with the spine of the scapula, the top part. But the fact is, you could see if I use this one, what's going to happen? I'm going to hit her right in the neck, right? Even make it really simple, the line is still going towards the base of the neck, righty? If I turn it this way, righty? You just use your imaginary line, right? She does need to keep her head facing forward, okay? Righty, bring your arm up, okay? Righty, so I'm gonna make sure my non-moving arm, or my proximal arm, is gonna stay in line with the neck, right? Using the imaginary line thing, going. This one, find her chromium process, right here it is, right? Line up the fulcrum, alrighty. Now, before you go, can I just see you bring your elbow towards me? Okay, try not to turn your trunk if you can, okay? Keep it straight. Keep looking at the machine over there, okay? Bring it back one more time. Okay, better. She's not moving it. So, she's starting in this position. I'm gonna line her up, alrighty? Now, I am gonna line up her distal arm, or the moving arm, towards the olecranon process here, okay? Alright, everything's lined up. She's starting at 0. Okay, I'm gonna lift, don't put it on her. I'm gonna lift right now. Bring your elbow back towards me. Okay, on the count of 3. Oh, there you go. 1, 2, 3. Go, 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 go. Everything's still aligned. Check. Make sure. Alrighty. Pull it away. She 0 to 16. That's awfully low. Okay, that is awfully low for her, so I'm gonna check it again. Alright, bring it back up. Alrighty. Alright, Can you bring it back as far as you can? Keeping your back straight, okay? Oh, don't lean forward up here. Okay, keep your back straight. Now bring your elbow back to me. Go, go, go. That's it? Really?
That's it.
Okay, put it down. Let me see. Can you bring this one up? All right, bring this, keeping your back straight. Don't arch or anything. Bring your elbow back towards me. Ooh, don't turn though. Try not to turn. All right? Maybe a little bit more, but not that much. Okay? All right, I'm going to measure this one again because you guys can see in the camera. All righty, bring it up. You getting tired?
Yeah.
All righty. So I'm going to line her back up. Okay. On the count of 3, bring it back towards me. 1, 2, 3. Go, 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 go. That's it. Okay. Alrighty, because I don't want her to twist. Alrighty, she went to 24. Alright, so she went from 0 to 24. If I want cross adduction now, horizontal cross adduction, what would I tell her to do? Bring your
Horizontal adduction back.
Yeah. What would you tell her to do? If you had to tell her to do it, what would you tell your patient to? Bring your
Hand towards yourself.
Yeah, bring it towards yourself or bring it across to the other side, across to the other shoulder. Okay? Bring it across to the other shoulder. Bring your hand across to the other shoulder. Bring it back up. Alrighty. Alright, so she's starting at 0. Alright. Line everything up. Alrighty. So I saw what she did. Okay. Now, I want you to do the same motion again. I'm just going to measure you. So on the count of 3, bring your hand across to the other shoulder. 1, 2, 3. Go towards, go, 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 go. That's it. Okay, I'm going to line her up. Make sure. All right. Pull away gently. Alright, so she started here at 0. She went past 90. Okay? She's not quite at 100. She is at 0 to 98. Does that make sense? Okay? Alright? Now remember, this one's very easy to compensate for. Okay? Because they have to sit up straight. By the way, do most people sit up straight without support? No, they love to slouch. Everybody loves to slouch, lean back, anything like that. Right? You guys will see how strong your trunk muscles actually are. Alrighty? When we talk about them. Alright? Because we don't need to. Alrighty? Right? Because if I was going to actually assess strength of the trunk, what would I actually have them to do?
Sit up straight.
That's more stabilizing, but if I wanted just to say the trunk, your front trunk muscles. This isn't a side line. Think about what you would actually have them to do, okay? Think about that for a minute. Right? So that is shoulder horizontal AB and adduction, okay? Now, I can do passive range of motion here. I will probably have to stabilize a lot more and pay attention to it a lot more because people tend to turn their trunk. So what I'm gonna do is put her in a supine position, okay? Let me get up. All right, I'm gonna take this away. All right, and you, oh, don't sit yet. This was clean before. Alright. Can you guys see? Okay. Head that way. Alrighty. Okay, so since she's supine, alright, I'm gonna do horizontal. Which one? D as in David. Okay? By the way, get in the habit of when you say either abduction or adduction, B like boy. Abduction, B like boy, D like dog. More for the fact we're all talking through math now, and it's hard enough to hear the B's and the D's sometimes. Alright? So, one second. Okay. Okay. Hey, so I wanted to do horizontal adduction. Alright. Oh, so yeah, adduction. Just going across like that. Okay. abduction, what would I do? Switch it to what?
PROM.
PROM. Yeah, I would put her in PROM, because then I could lift her up, lift the arm up, right? But since I'm in this position right now, right, I'm gonna do a manual muscle test for horizontal adduction, right? So I already saw, right, how much she can go, okay? Can you bring your hand towards the other side for me, okay? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty, go that way. Oh, good. She has good motion. She lifted it up against gravity. Alrighty. What muscle is it? Pec major. Okay. Now, remember what we talked about a week ago? Pec major, rectus abdominis, hip flexor, in a precarious position, hip adductors. Okay. So you're gonna want to tell her exactly where you're gonna place your hand to palpate for the muscles. And when you're palpating for the muscles, you don't really, you do want to palpate the whole muscle, but at times it's not necessarily able. What you want to do is just get a majority of the fibers. And a majority of the fibers is inserting where? Yeah, right over here, okay? So we can just sort of place, is it okay if I put my hand sort of right on your right upper chest? Okay, so I'm going to place my hand here. Right, and what I'm going to feel for is shortening of the muscles, okay? As she's bringing her hand across to the other side. All right, so on the count of 3, bring your hand across to the other side. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, and there goes that pec major tendon coming into play here. All right, and bringing it back. Okay, so now I want to test strength, okay? See if she can bring it across. So what I want you to do, all right, I'm switching hands now more for me. Alrighty, I'm going to place my hands here, and I'm going to be at this position of readiness if I need to stabilize. Because if I need to stabilize her ipsilateral shoulder, I'll be ready. Okay? If I need to say, if she's starting to pull in the other side, I could definitely reach across over here real quickly. Right? Try not to do this. People don't like this usually, reaching across the front. Why? Why? You guys can say pipe into in the other room. Why don't you? People don't like this. You're getting choked. People don't like that. They don't like that. Alrighty. So typically, I would most likely be at the head of the table. I'm gonna stay over here to the side so you guys can see. So on the count of 3, I want you to bring your hand across the chest again, and I'm gonna resist you. Okay? So on the count of 3, whatever you give me, I'm gonna give back to you. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, go, 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 and relax, okay? So for her, I would say that's definitely like a 4- out of 5, because I was giving moderate amount of resistance. And you could see her pectoralis major muscle coming into play. All right? All right, so for horizontal abduction like boy, can you go prone? Alright, okay, and you want to keep her on here. Alrighty, now for her, she's actually not that bad. Alrighty, it's not being drawn into gravity that much. If it was, what would I do? Yeah, just put a little towel over, okay? Alrighty, what muscles am I thinking about when I say shoulder horizontal AB like boy? Muscle? No. Deltoid, your posterior deltoid, the posterior aspect of it. Alrighty, so what would I tell her to do? Bring her elbow up, okay? Right. Some people tend to adduct a little bit, regular adduct. Alrighty, if she does a little bit, that's okay. Alrighty, if she does a lot of it, where she's doing this, okay, then you want to tell her not to do it. Alrighty. So can you do it one more time for me? And I'm just going to palpate for the muscles here. Is that okay? All right. So on the count of 3, bring it up. Ooh, and there goes her posterior deltoid coming into play. All right, bring it back down. All right, when I'm doing this, I usually like to be right here. All right, so I can help stabilize. I'm going to stay over here so you guys can see. All right, so on the count of 3, what might she do before she does it to sort of compensate? She'll roll over. So I'm going to have my hand right here at the ready. So if I need to say, hey, put your trunk down, she'll realize it, okay? So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, go, 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 and relax. Not quite as the same 4 minus as for horizontal, AB, okay? Right, but she's still relatively strong. Now, if I wanted to do passive range of motion in this position, I can have it right here, and just bring her all the way up and back down. Like I said, you can do it in sitting, I am in favor of doing less work all the time for me, okay? But if I was gonna do it in sitting, let me show you. Can you sit up for me? Alrighty. Okay. Alright, I would,
You want me to go back on the chair?
no. I'm gonna need it anyway. Alright. Alright, I would have her here, supported under me. Alrighty. And I would just bring her across for the passive range of motion, give her a little stretch, and bring her this way. Okay? Right? And actually she passively, for horizontal abduction, she's bringing pretty much the same amount. I'm not really seeing a whole lot more range of motion. And she's limited. Why? I would have to do further testing. Just bringing it back and forth, okay? Alright. Hey, questions on that? Good? Okay. Alright, so we're going to talk about the scapular muscles now. Alrighty? Now the scapula, real quick, plays a huge, huge role, alrighty, in glenohumeral motion or shoulder motion. So if there is weakness, postural abnormalities where it's the scapulothoracic muscles are either tight or loose, it will affect the glenohumeral muscles. So we do want to make sure they're nice and strong. Okay? Alrighty? Now looking at the muscles, okay, in that area, what position do you think they really primarily function in? Against gravity, gravity minimized, into gravity, gravity minimized, because they're, they're in this position, okay? So, right, looking at the muscles now. How big are they? How many muscle fibers are they? Comparing it to, say, like the biceps or your deltoid. Is there a lot, you think?
Smaller.
They're smaller, and they're not in, they're like what we call flat muscles, okay? So they're not as strong, right? They are strong for that, for the activity you have to do, but if you're gonna say like your deltoid, they're really, and you're really, giving a lot of resistance, and you get, a lovely 5 out of 5 strength. The 5 out of 5 strength that you get in your deltoid is not going to be the same as in your scapulothoracic muscles. Does that make sense? The other room? Okay, one hand up. All right. All right, so go prone for me. All right, so the first one that we're going to do, all right, is your lower trapezius muscles, okay? This one, you really do not want to give them a pillow. You really don't, all right? If they really want a pillow, yes. But try to discourage using a pillow, all right? Because it will alter the results of the test. So your lower trapezius muscle, all right, is primarily involved with scapular depression, okay, and an upward rotation, all right? Upward rotation of the scapula. This is the inferior angle. Sorry, guys. This is the inferior angle. Alrighty, if you have your thumb and your index finger in this position like an L, alrighty, that your web space of your hand is the inferior angle. Alrighty, upward rotation, okay. I picture my thumb and index finger. Alrighty, as your scapula. This is upward rotation. Downward rotation will be back where it started from. Okay? Alrighty, there is 3 muscles that is responsible for doing this motion. We're only going to test one of them, and that's the lower traps. Now, to test for them, okay, you do want them in a prone position. Take your glasses off. It's good to and get moving. Okay? You want them, okay, close as possible. Come to me. Okay. Oh, a little bit too much now. All right? Come up this way now. Okay. Now, can you put your arms in a Superman position or Y position? Here. Good way of doing it. Have their hands right at the corner of the table. All right? We're only going to test her left side. Okay? We're only going to test her left side. Now, you can put your right arm wherever you want. That's comfortable. Okay? Alrighty? Right? And, okay? Right? You want their head rotated to the upper side. Alrighty? And, can I move your top towards the sleeve, towards the middle?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. So, actually, do me a favor. Okay? Put the hand in the small of your back for me.
I'm sorry?
Put this hand in the smaller back. Do this.
Oh, like this?
Yeah. Alright? This is a good way, good trick to get the scapula to come out. Alright? Instead of trying to dig into her. Okay? So I'm going to keep my hand, bring it back now. Alright? So I have a general idea where the angle is, the inferior angle. Alright? Now, okay, lower traps, okay, upper traps, mid traps, lower traps. Okay? Alright? So I have a good idea where everything is. Now what I want you to do right now, keeping your arm like this, okay? Like think of, 130 degrees of abduction. Somewhere right around there. Alrighty? Like I said, I always use, keep your arm to the corner of the table. Alright? What I want you to do now, alright, is just to lift up this arm, okay, without lifting up your trunk, okay? Keeping your elbow a little bit straight. Alright, so on the count of 3, bring it up. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. And what you will see, yes, this shoulder musculature comes into play, but I also feel her scapula rotating. Alrighty? And it's rotating because her lower traps are coming into play. Alright? So who wants to, who's not taping right now? Come. Alright? Put your hand right here. Put your fingers right there. You okay with this, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. Now do the same motion like we just did. Just sort of lift it up off the table. Do you feel her muscles coming into play? Right here. Her lower traps are shortening a little bit. And you can feel her inferior angle of the scapula moving away. Alright? Can you guys good in the other room? Can you see? Cool. Alrighty. Alrighty. Now, again, for a resistance, what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply a downward pressure because she's just lifting her arm away. Alright? So on the count of 3, you're going to do the same thing again. Now be aware, these are flat muscles, a lot less muscle fibers. Do not full force push them. Okay? However she's lifting, you're going to resist her a little bit at a time, okay? And whatever she's going to give me, I'm going to give right back to her, okay? So slowly lift it up on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Go, 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 go. Ooh, and look what she does, okay? She's lifting up her arm, relax. Alrighty? Now, what I want to do, since I've already palpated for a muscle, I may want to just sort of, put my hands right here to help give an idea. Hey, keep your legs down, okay? Alrighty, so on the count of 3, do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, go, 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 go. And relax. Alrighty, again, because this is a muscle, lower traps, people don't tend to work on it. They really should, by the way, and you will know why when you, did you do transfers yet? Did you do, like how to do a push-up transfer and all that? Okay, you will. You will do that in mobility, I believe. Alrighty? You will see that they need those muscles, particularly your lower traps, to help push up. Okay? Alrighty? So, that was just a sort of a straightforward downward push. Now, if I was going to do gravity minimized, can I really put her in a more minimized position? Really? No, because the muscle is already minimized. So what I'm going to ask her to do, and how I'm going to grade it, is the fact, if she lifts it up, I know how much she's able to lift off. Okay? If she doesn't even bring it up all the way, where the humerus is in line with her trunk, then I know she's not gonna be able to tolerate resistance. Is the most accurate test when we're talking about manual muscle test strengthening? Probably not, but it's the only one we have. Okay? Yes or no? Okay, so gravity minimized, right? If she was down, okay, don't bring it up so high, okay? Alright, and I ask her to bring it up a little bit. I see this, right? Alright, and she is only bringing it up, what, a centimeter off the table, okay? Now bring it all the way up to your length, to your, like you did before. Yeah, she brings it up like like 3 fingers width, okay? So looking at that, that's how you would grade these types of trunk muscles, okay? Because it's truly, you cannot get them in against gravity position or a gravity minimized position. Does that make sense? All right. Okay, so, alrighty. So the next group of muscles that we're gonna look at is your rhomboid major and minor, okay? Right? And this test is specifically for rhomboid major and minor. Because what's on top of rhomboid major and minor, or what's more superficial to major and minor? Your middle trapezius, okay? If you do this particular test, it's only testing rhomboid major and minor, okay? Typically rhomboid major and minor and middle trapezius, what do you think it does, guys? The other room too can pipe in if you want. Yeah, say it differently, because these are your shoulders. Your scapula, right? Retracting your scapula, okay? Alright, retracting your scapula. Alright? So, to separate the test out is just positioning their arm in a particular way. Alright? So, I am going to ask her, she's in the prone position again. Are you okay, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay? She's in the prone position. I am going to ask her, this arm okay? Mm-hmm. Put this arm in the small of your back. Alrighty? Good. Alrighty? Keep it like that. Alrighty? That, like I said, that's a good trick to get the inferior angle of the scapula out. Alrighty? And what I'm going to ask her to do, okay, you guys may want to get a little bit closer so you can see this. Alright? Can you, alright, and we'll put, you guys put this on WhatsApp, right?
Yeah.
Alrighty? Everybody see her inferior angle, right? Okay? Can you just sort of lift your hand away from your back, alright? Lift it, like, go. Alrighty? Can you see how her scapula retracted a little bit? Okay, put it down. Okay, here. I'm going to put my fingers right here. Alrighty? So, right? Lift your hand away now. Lift it. Good. There you go. Nice. Okay? It's not a huge motion. Is it okay, Virginia? Put your hands on your. Okay. Give me a hand. Okay. Alrighty. Now lift up. Okay. It's not a huge motion. She just sort of retracts her scapula a little bit more. Are you guys good there? I'll come in the other room. I'll come in the other room to show you. So, what do you think I would do? Right? She lifted it pretty well, right? And good contraction you felt, right? So what do you think I would do to add some resistance? She lifted up, and what else? I'm not sure if you guys saw it. She lifted up, and she actually brought her arm out a little bit, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply, let me make sure I get it correct, right? Alright, proximal to the elbow, I'm going to apply a downward and slightly outward pressure, okay? So her hand's going to be here. I'm going to help stabilize right here. Alright, y'all see what she does. So on the count of 3, okay, I'm going to resist that motion again, okay? You'll feel something like a pushing sensation, okay, in your arm, okay? So on the count of 3, you're going to do the same motion. 1, 2, 3, go, 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 and relax, okay? So you're going to help me a little bit, all right? I'll come on that side. All righty, put your fingers right here, all righty? So I'm going to help stabilize her a little bit. So on the count of 3, you're going to do that same motion. I'm just going to apply a little resistance, okay? 1, 2, 3, go, 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 go. Do you feel her rhomboids resisting you?
It's subtle, yeah.
It's subtle.
Mhm.
All right, she's actually relatively strong. All right, when do we actually use this muscle? To do what? You can sit up a little bit, okay? When do we actually use this muscle? Do we go around doing this all day? When we pull something, okay? When we pull open a door, okay, we use it a little bit. Alrighty? Alrighty, we don't go around typically pinching our shoulder blades, do we? Typically, no. Alright? Any type of rowing action, alright, we're gonna use those muscles. Alright? Are you good? Alright? So, now for gravity minimized, okay, can you know what? Don't do this in long sitting. I'm only doing it in long sitting so that room can see. Typically, what I would have her do is sit on the plinth, okay? I would have her sit on the plinth, alright? So, yeah, stand up for a second. I'm just gonna move this. Alright, sit here. Now you cloudy. Can you guys see? Okay, cool. Hey, so I am testing her right on, so you guys can see. Come this way. Alright. Yeah, okay. So, who wants to palpate? Alrighty. Put your hand right here. Alright. Alright. You put your hand in the small of your back again. Okay. Now what I want you to do is bring your elbow, okay, straight towards Virginia, okay? Virginia's to your left, okay? So on the count of 3, bring it towards Virginia. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. Alright. Now what did you feel, Virginia?
I felt her muscle.
Yeah. Well, not her muscles.
Sorry, her
Her what? Her scapula. Alrighty? Her scapula actually retracted, and what you felt is the rhomboid major and minor muscles contracting. Okay? Alrighty? So bring it back. So she keeps the hand in the small of her back and just brings her elbow towards you. Right? Or bring your elbow back. Keep your hand in the small of your back and bring it back. Bring your elbow joint towards me. Okay? Right? Questions on that one? Alright. You know what? Since she's in this position, and we could sort of save some time. Alrighty. Alrighty. Actually, it is the next one. Scapular elevation. What's scapular elevation? There she goes. Scapular elevation, same thing as shoulder elevation. Okay? Don't confuse shoulder elevation with shoulder flexion. Okay? Alrighty? So what I'm going to ask her to do, what would one simple thing I do, tell her to do? Shrug. Make it simple. Alrighty? Watch to make sure, what can they do to compensate? I've seen people do it. They like to do this. Alrighty? Alrighty? Because if you say bring your ear to your shoulder, or bring your shoulder to your ear, what do? Alright? Alright? Tell them to shrug. Alright? So what I'm going to see, against gravity, because this is definitely against gravity right now, bring your, shrug your shoulder for me. Alrighty? And bring it back down. Sure, it went all the way. Huh, okay. Alrighty. Can you do it one more time? Keep your head straight, by the way. Make sure they're always looking straight at you. Bring it up. Good. Alrighty, bring it back down. So she was able to lift it up against gravity. Now, if you happen to be testing the right side, okay, it's kind of easy to get them to bring both sides up, alrighty, at the same time, because it's a little bit more natural thing for them to do, okay? A lot of people have issues when I say, just shrug your left shoulder. See? She had a little, said, what do you mean, just my left? Because when you shrug your shoulders, people do this, okay? So I tell them, I may be testing for only one side, but I'm having them do on both sides, and I will apply resistance on that one particular side. Right? Remember what I said, you always want to have your patient in eyes view, okay? Typically, you want to be, so you can see their face and see what their, what their expressions are and if they're in distress, alrighty? People don't really like this kind of thing, alrighty, because you're violating, I'm sorry. You are violating their personal space. So I'm going to go behind her. And what you're going to do, alrighty, alright, I'm just going to keep an eye on her, alright? Just turn your head around, okay? And what I'm going to do, alright, can you do that one more time? Alrighty, and what muscle, by the way? The other room too can pipe in. Upper traps, upper traps. Alrighty, the upper traps, okay? So I'm going to test the right side so everybody can see. I'm going to move you here over here, okay? Alrighty, so on the count of 3, I'm just going to apply a little resistance, okay? Alright, so 1, 2, 3, go, 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 and relax, okay? Alrighty, and what I did, I just sort of snuck my head around there so I could see what's going on, alright? So sort of be careful, especially these days, everybody's wearing masks in the clinic, alrighty? What you may want to be more focused on, make sure they're not holding their breath, alrighty? People tend to hold their breath a lot when you're testing them, alrighty? Yeah, you can't really see because of the mask, alrighty? Good, sometimes I like to do, I'll have them blow, you can like have them exhale, right? Might get them too many directions to follow at that point. Sometimes I just tell them, count out loud, 1 through 5, right? At least I know they're getting some air in when they're counting out loud, right? Make sure you say out loud because a lot of them tend to count in their head, right? That sort of defeats the purpose, right? So if I was gonna do scapular elevation or shoulder elevation, gravity minimized, what position would she go in? Supine. Come supine. Okay. I'm going to stand off to the side a little bit so you guys can see. Alrighty? And what would I tell her to do now? Just shrug. That is all I'm going to tell her to do. Just shrug her shoulders. Alrighty? And I'm going to place my hand. I'm going to just put. And is this a tight area? Especially when she's supine? Yes, if it's a tight area, yes, I've been showing you guys to use your hands to palpate for the muscles. Tight, small area. May not be as bad as if I had Andre up here. Alright, he has broader shoulders. She has narrower shoulders, okay? So I'm going to just use 2 fingers to palpate for the muscles because she's just smaller. So can you do that motion one more time? Show your shoulders. Ooh, there she goes. Upper traps coming into play. Alright, and I'm going to bring it down, okay? Alrighty. Now typically, in this position, there's probably very little that she can do to compensate, right? Besides lateral cervical flexion, okay? Alrighty. If she does that, you would just tell her, what would you tell her to do? Look straight up. They do tend to still look straight up and turn their head, by the way, alright? So, don't move your head, alright? Keep your head still. Okay, guys? Alright, okay. So that's scapular elevation or shoulder elevation, right? Against gravity and gravity minimized, okay? Since you're here, I'm gonna jump ahead so I don't have to move her that much, okay? The last one is what we call scapular upward rotation with abduction, alrighty? That scapula is rotating upward, but it's also abducting, or commonly we call abduction of the scapula as, if this is my scapula, guys, okay, alrighty, adduction's going this way, abduction's going this way. So commonly, what do we do? What do we call this? If it's going outward. Protraction. Does that sound familiar? Protraction sounds familiar? Alrighty, so this is scapular upward rotation, right, and abduction, okay? So she's basically protracting her scapula with an upward rotation component, right? And how can I tell her, right, to protract her scapula? What would I tell her to do? If this is the against gravity position, what would I tell her to do? Okay, put one hand up, and what else? Okay.
Roll over shoulder straight.
Well, if you tell her to roll, she'll really roll
Reach
her
ahead.
shoulders. Yeah, reach up.
ahead.
Okay, reach up.
Like I said,
Okay, do only one. This one, is this one okay?
Yeah, that's nice.
So what I can do, alrighty, because is this protraction against gravity if I ask her to reach up? Yes or no? Yes, okay. Most of the times we think of protraction in this position, right? Because this is where we like to keep our arm all the time. We usually don't have our arms sticking up in the air like this, do we? No, okay. So thinking of that, how strong is this muscle? How
So-
often does it function against gravity?
Not many times.
Not many times, okay? So what I'm gonna do, yeah, she lifted it quite well, okay, against gravity. Alrighty, she didn't roll her trunk off the bed anything like that. She just sort of lifted her scapula away, abducted her scapula, or we commonly call protraction of the scapula. So what type of resistance or the direction of resistance would I be giving? Which way would I be downward? I'd be pushing into gravity. So, for me, alright, I'm gonna use a stool. Now, please be careful. Since it's a straight downward motion, okay, alrighty, you're gonna have one hand below the elbow, or proximal to the elbow, and one hand distal to the elbow, alright? While she's reaching up, what you wanna do is apply a downward pressure, but don't squeeze her arm to death here, okay? People don't like that, okay? So I'm just gonna have her bring it up, and I'm just gonna apply a downward pressure without squeezing her arm to death here. Alright, so on the count of 3, I saw how much she's gonna do. Alrighty, so can you bring your arm upward for me, please? Oh, wait for me.
Oh, sorry.
1, 2, 3. So as she's bringing it up, I'm applying a downward pressure, trying to retract her scapula. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay? What I also felt her do, alrighty, you probably felt it also. She tried to go into some shoulder flexion here. Alright? So watch out for that compensation, okay? If I wanted to palpate her muscles, guys, remember where the serratus is? Here? Yeah, somewhere over here. Alrighty? It is coming off, alright? It is inserting onto your ribs and it's under your scapula. So you can't really get all the muscle fibers, but what you're gonna feel, if you place your hand, okay, palm of your hand, on the lateral side, okay, of her scapula, right under here, as she's lifting up, alrighty, you could feel the muscles coming into place. So can you lift up a little bit? Alright? And I feel muscles right on the lateral border of her scapula. Okay? Yes or no? Right? Right, what, put your hand down. What's the gravity minimized position? Sitting. Sitting would be the gravity minimized. So come sit up. Alright, come towards me a little bit. Alright, now, so what you really want to do, again, she could be sitting in a chair or sitting on a plinth. Alright, if I have her resting on me, alright, I'm supporting her slightly. I don't have to do a lot of work, because you know me, I don't want to do a lot of work sometimes. I don't want to sweat. Alright, what would I tell her to do? Alright, just reach forward with your hand. Okay? So if she reaches forward, try not to lift off my shoulder if you can, okay? Alright, lift forward, reach forward. Good, good. Let's come closer, okay? Alrighty, relax, reach forward. Good. And what I can feel right on the lateral border, put your hand right here. That's it right here. Now if she keeps lifting it off, what am I gonna do?
Hold it.
I'm just gonna hold it down a little bit, okay? Because it's not a natural feeling sometimes for people. So I'm gonna keep my hand right over here. I'm not applying any pressure. But this constant tactile cueing will tell her, hey, keep your hand on my shoulder. Now reach forward. Good. Alrighty? And I could feel her serratus muscles right here coming into play on the lateral border of her scapula. Yes or no? Mm-hmm. Hey, what's another name for your lateral border of your scapula? They like to call it sometimes. Axillary border. Alright, because it's near the axilla. Alright? So if I say medial border, That's on the medial side. What do you think they like to call it here sometimes? Vertebral border, okay? Because they're using landmarks, okay, to help. Alrighty, so that is scapular upward rotation, right? Abduction, commonly called protraction, okay? Alrighty, what happens, we'll jump ahead for a second. What happens if you happen to have a weak serratus? The other room can pipe in. All right, this room can pipe in. All right, what do we happen to call that?
Wing scapulas?
Go ahead.
Wing scapula?
A winging of the scapula, okay? Usually there's somebody in the class that has a winging of the scapula. All right, we'll look for that next week, okay? And everybody. Oh, last one, okay? Scapular adduction, looking at the mid-traps. You okay? All right. Can you go prone for me one more time? All right. Now we look at scapular retraction using the rhomboid major and minor. Now for the mid-trap, like I said, it's just positioning of the arm itself. Okay. So can you go prone all the way? All right. All right. Looking at her, see if she doesn't really need a towel. She's pretty good, okay? Alrighty, so what I'm gonna have her do, since she's in this position, alrighty, this is the position for manual muscle testing, internal and external rotation, alright? For me to have her do scapular retraction, focusing on the middle trapezius, I would tell her, can you sort of bring your elbow up towards the ceiling for me? Go, go, go. Alright? Alright? What don't I want her to do? What did she just do?
What did I do?
What did she do, guys?
Lift her shoulders?
She lifted her shoulder up. Right? And what else? She shrugged a little bit, but she horizontally abducted more than scapular retraction. So what you want to tell her to do is bring your elbow towards the ceiling, but keep your arm on the bed. Sort of contradictory in words, aren't I? Yes or no? Yeah, it's a pain. Alrighty, so what I want you to do that motion for me. Alrighty. Okay, go back.
Maybe tell them to just like squeeze their shoulder blades.
Yes, you would tell them to squeeze their shoulder blades together. Alrighty, I'd squeeze your shoulder blades together, but try to bring your elbow towards the ceiling a little bit. So on the count of 3, good. Squeeze. All right. And what I would feel is her mid-traps coming into play. Alrighty. So on the count of 3 now, where would I apply resistance, you think? You tell me.
On the elbow?
Small elbow.
Your proximal elbow. Because can you actually get your hands in the medial part or your vertebral border of the scapula? Very hard, right? People don't usually like that, because what are you going to end up really doing?
Bring pressure.
What? I didn't hear.
Bring pressure.
You're going to apply pressure, and you're going to be sort of digging into the medial side of her vertebral border, and they're going to quite feel uncomfortable, because they're going to feel the poking of your fingers right into them. They're not going to like that. Alrighty? So what I'm going to do is keep my hand here. Alrighty? Pinch your shoulder blades together. Okay? Wait for me.
Okay.
Alrighty? And I'm just going to apply a little pressure on your elbow. Okay? So on the count of 3, bring it up. Pinch. Pinch, 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 pinch. And I feel a little bit more resistance to the motion. Okay? Alright? So what you want to do is tell them to sort of like point their elbow joint towards the ceiling more, but don't lift up. Alright? So you get that sensation of your scapula retracting. And when you palpate against resistance, when you have them do it against resistance, they'll know what to do. Okay? The other room? Okay. Alrighty. Okay. What position would it be for gravity minimized?
Seated.
Seated. Can you sit up? Last one. Okay. Alrighty. I'm gonna have her in this arm. Can you guys see? Right? She's actually good size for me. Okay? I'm gonna support her at 90 degrees. I'm gonna have her hand rest over here, right on my shoulder. Alrighty? And I'm gonna place my fingertips. Okay? Can you pinch your shoulder blades together? Pinch. This one. This one too. Good. Alright, better. Okay. Look straight ahead. Look straight ahead and just pinch. Alright? One more time, pinch. Good. Now I feel it coming back. Because should you see a lot of motion? No, it shouldn't be going across all the way to the other side or anything like that. So I'm going to support her right here, keeping it at 90 degrees. Have my fingers right here on the medial aspect. Alrighty, pinch one more time, pinch. And relax. Alright? And what you're feeling for is the middle trapezius muscle contracting. Okay? Who wants to feel? Anybody? Good. Okay. Alright.
Okay.
Alright. Put your hands right there. Right on the medial aspect. Right there. Where my fingers are. Tell her.
Pinch your shoulder.
Alright. Okay. Her middle trapezius is contracting. And again, even though we are technically testing her right side, alrighty, try pinching only one side. It's kind of hard to do. Alright, so you just say, pinch your shoulder blades, okay, even though we're only looking at one side. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So